Hey, thanks for that, Joe. That's great. Yeah, just myself today. Alex up for an award. So let's wish him luck. So next slide, please, Alexi. So yeah, concrete. It's the most used construction material globally after water by weight. It's estimated that 7 to 8% of man-made global emissions are coming from concrete and cement due to the quantity that we use. If that was a country, it would be the third largest country like emitter of CO2 globally after America and China as well. So uh, large quantities are used, and the percentage reflects that as well. But there's also a lot that we can do to it. The industry has also put out a roadmap of how to get to carbon neutral by 2050 as well. It's a very interesting material. Been working in the sustainability in its last 5 years, and I think the problem is, I think currently the situation there are solutions. Material manufacturers have the solution, clients want it, but it's a complex supply chain between that. You may have 5 or 6 or 8 different kind of people between that. Everyone needs to kind of know about like low carbon concrete, how to ask for it, how to specify, how to talk about it upwardly and downwardsly for us to get it right. Okay. If someone doesn't feel comfortable or have all the full information, it's very easy to kind of say no. So that's the background what we're really working at. We're looking at to take advantage of MECLA, like of the supply chain as well, to take advantage and break down those barriers, identify what they are as well. So the concrete and cement working group, we meet monthly. We've got about 50 active members across the supply chain. Approximately a 50-50 split. We've actually started a bit of a register to kind of keep track as we work through it as well. And the aim is like we only want active members in the working group as well, and have an equal representation as well of that as well. So you need to be active to maintain your involvement in the working group. As I mentioned, it's complex and multifaceted as well, and the solutions that we need are multifaceted and actually require both the supply side and the demand side to work together as well. Next slide, thanks. So objective number 1 is similar to the steel working group. We've kind of we've put it out. We've asked a lot of people about what they want from this working group and what they get most value from it as well. So the facilitation and collaboration of knowledge transfer for the acceleration of the decarbonisation of concrete and cement. So we do monthly knowledge sharing presentations. We've been doing that for about 2 years as well. A lot of work going into that, arranging speakers each month as well. We've tried to flip it a little bit as well, and to try and have that balance, and also to activate all the members that are in the working group. So all members should bring their perspective along to it. We don't just want to hear from concrete manufacturers, cement manufacturers. We want to hear, as that side, we want to hear what are the demand issues, what are the issues, where are you at with your problem of trying to use lower carbon concrete and cement as well. So that's just an example of some of the presentations that we had. So we try to balance it each month, one for the other as well. The other thing we'll be doing as well is monthly facilitated like a round robin group discussion as well. Initially last year it was like, what you're working in, what are you looking for like as a silver bullet, or what would help you uptake lower carbon concrete and cement. This year's topic that we're starting on is like, what is actually low carbon concrete? We mentioned it a lot in the working group, but what would you put your hand on is the definition of it. How is everyone actually defining it? So for all our members, going back to that previous slide from the supply side and the demand side, how are people measuring it? What are they measuring it against? What reference cases are they using it? What targets or reductions are they aiming for? And what are the resources, the information that you know about this as well? So we're not reinventing the wheel. So we've actually started a bit of a repository. As we go through that, everyone has to participate in the conversation as well. And that goes on to our next objective as well. Next slide, thanks, Alexi. So the second objective is to advocate on behalf of the sector to mitigate recognised problems in the decarbonisation. So feeding then on from that knowledge transfer of like how are you defining, where are you currently at as well. We actually want to build that into as a survey, capture all those discussions, formulate a draft for review of the group of the state of the nation, and then potentially take that through to a resource on the MECLA working group as well. Like, what is low carbon concrete as a group? What do we think the definition is? How do we think it should be measured? and what against what our thoughts, and have that out there as well, and also work in conjunction with what else has been done there as well. So on the right's like an example, like as we go through and each person talks about this as well, they're like, oh, have you seen this, Reese? Have you still seen that? These people are kind of looking at that. So AIM's also part of that discussion paper, is like have like a one-stop shop for all the different references specifically for concrete as we kind of work through those discussions as well. There's a second part to that objective as well. It's also performance-based specifications. So last year we did have a separate working group looking at performance-based specifications of concrete, how we can move away from prescriptive specifications about X amount of cement or this or that to actually performance outbased come. That was getting quite large and unwieldy and resource consuming as well. So I'm happy to kind of announce actually that CCA and Smartcrete actually taking the lead on that. It's a fairly complex challenge as well. They just had a really great webinar on that the other day, and they're kicking off some workshops on that as well. So I think that's really the grunt and the horsepower that we need for that. I just got to finish with closing. There's 2 great spotlight events on the MECLA website for spotlights in concrete as well. So check those out if you haven't seen them already. Thanks for that. And then over to the next working group as well, Jeff, for aluminium or alumina, they say in the US.